Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today Andy here, and welcome back to another segment in the Classic Cars in Motorsport series and the final chapter in our Porsche month collection, and we're going to bring things pretty much right up to date with the phenomenal LMP1 hybrid that you see on the screen just now. It is the 919 multi-time Le Mans winner, multi-time World Endurance Championship winner as well. 17 race victories out of 33 races entered, a phenomenal hit rate, and a brilliant car. Just another example of Porsche's engineering prowess basically today, and we're going to try and take this phenomenal piece of equipment around the Nürburgring very shortly. But quick wee bit about the car. Obviously it was launched in 2014 to compete in the new World Endurance Championship that came back along a few years previous to compete alongside Audi with the R18, Toyota with the TS040. So it really went big at the early points when the World Endurance Championship started back up. It's just a 2-litre V4 engine, but it is turbocharged, and it does have two separate energy recovery systems. The first recovers the thermal energy from the exhaust. The second uses a motor generating unit, an MGU, with the braking, and that obviously powers the front axle in that side of things. What all of this does, it eliminates the turbo lag, it gives the car temporary four-wheel drive in certain situations as well, with the MGU in the front power and the front axles, and obviously the rear wheel drive from the actual engine itself. And rumours that with all the energy recovery pointing in the right direction, that it was capable of around about 1,000 horsepower, although whether that was actually true or not is unsure. The car itself, the engine, was somewhere around about 500 to 600 horsepower on its own with no recovery systems. Still a phenomenal quick car with all the aerodynamic tricks and flicks that you'd expect, and the car went on to win the World Endurance Championship Drivers and Constructors Championships 3 times back to back, 2015, 2016 and 2017, and 3 back-to-back Le Mans 24-hour victories as well in 15, 16 and 17 as well. So brilliant car, just carrying on Porsche's phenomenal sports car history, and it's been absolutely brilliant driving these cars over the last 4 weeks. But this is the final one. Now we know that they took a tribute version around the Nürburgring. Obviously as much as I like to, I'm not going to be getting near to that lap time, unfortunately. I can't quite remember what the lap time was, to be honest, but it was a phenomenal lap time in the 5 minutes. Where today it's trying to, for me, with my skills, it's trying to make sure I'm underneath 6 minutes quite easily. That's what I'm intending to do. Get at least 5 to 10 seconds under the 6 minute mark if I don't screw up. That sounds quite tame in comparison to some of the lap times capable in this car, but my skill level isn't quite up there with some of the best that are setting world records. But let's get out onto the green hill. Let's take this phenomenal piece of equipment, this 3-time Le Mans winner, around the Nordschleife, and let's just see what almost 1,000 horsepower with a hybrid engine and the hybrid motors can do around the Nürburgring. Let's get on the track. So here we are then in the 919 hybrid, about to get started around the Nordschleife. You can see on the left hand side there the world record in this car on this game on PlayStation 4 is 5:22.6. I'm not going to be in that level, I'm going to be completely honest with you. That's not going to be happening today. But we've got that 2-litre 4-valve V4 engine there in the back, producing around about 500 plus horsepower. We've got the hybrid motors as well that can take us up to near enough 1,000 horsepower in some instances and make the car temporarily 4-wheel drive as well. So we've got plenty to keep us occupied, so let's get on with the lap. And one thing obviously we're going to have a lot more of today, as I make a complete hash of the exit, is we're going to have a lot more grip than what we have done in previous videos. As I completely make a mess of turn number 1 there. We're going to keep the foot down, and look, that's one of the bits here, you can really just throw this car into the corners and it will just stick really well. Not using any of the cut recovery systems yet. Want to keep them now. I'm going to deploy them up here as we head up to the fluid plats, and there we go. You can see the yellow bars going down on the steering wheel. That's the amount of energy we have. Used a good wee bit there. We're going to go flat out in 7th gear through here, completely planted, and then heading down this section here, using a bit more of the energy as we hit over 305 kilometers an hour. So we're over just around about the 200 miles an hour mark now. Throw it into here completely flat out, down to 3rd gear. Didn't quite get the apex the way I wanted it, but we're back in the power and heading down through the valley. You can see the batteries charged itself back up again there under braking into that right hander, so we've got a little bit more juice back heading up the hill. We're going to use the brake downshift down to 6th and then down to 4th and then down to 2nd here. Just get the car into 3rd early because it's revving up pretty quickly, and again back on the power. And we're heading, this is quite a quick section as well here in these kind of cars. Normally you'd be downshifting through here, but in this you can really just throw it in. Took a bit too much curb obviously, which is not ideal. Down to 3rd gear into this tricky corner. We'll give it a little bit of a boost from the hybrid system, and just a little lift and then just plant it through there. Just let the aerodynamics do what they're designed to do. Just stick this car completely to the ground. Use a little bit more energy recovery there just to speed up, because we're going to gain it back through here under brake and just running a little bit wide through there. Down to 3rd gear, up and over the rise of the crest, and again back on the energy recovery system. I'm just going to leave it there to keep ourselves some for now. We've got this tricky corner coming up and brakes so much later in this car though than we could in the likes of the 962 and the 91730, and now we've got this long drag up the hill towards the end of this sector, easily over 280, 290. We'll be hitting 300 before long, but the car is going uphill, so it's going to be struggling against its own weight. We'll give it a little bit more of a kicky boost there just to take it over 290, and then watch this, you can really just throw the car into there, not even a hint of a lift through that corner. Normally I'm downshifting and take my foot off the throttle, would have been flat through that right hand kink as well if I hadn't just got the line a bit wrong, running a little bit wide there through the right hander, coming up now to the carousel. Now a lot of people take this the long way round in these kind of cars just purely because of how low to the ground they are, but I like taking the banking, so I'll do that. A little bit of a boost again with a hybrid, and we're coming up now to that tricky part of the track that if you've watched the other videos you'll know I get a bit quieter on, because I've made many a mistake through this section when racing around this track before. I've really got that one wrong. A wee bit of a boost there just to get the car back up to revs. You can see it wants to fight me through there. I'm just really just letting it run right to the edge of the track, not quite getting into the apexes there. Not really my big focus at the moment. Down to 3rd gear, I didn't really need to do that. YouTube corner, running wide onto the curves, nearly became another statistic through that corner. Many of people gone off there during track days. I'm trying to save the hybrid for the big stretch down to the finish line. Dab the brakes down to 5th and throw it into 4th. Could have actually kept it in 5th through there actually. And now we've got this next section flying down the hill just thread the car through. Going to use a little bit of the energy system because we've got a couple of braking points coming up. 7th gear, down to 6th, throw it into that first part. On the brakes again, into 4th, running very wide. I'm going to keep my foot in it though, because we're near the end of the lap, so we've nearly got it done. Dropped it into 4th there, it's too low in the power. And just throw it in, and again the back just wants to step away. And here we go, down the long straight. You can see obviously the lap record time's coming up pretty sharp. And we've used all the battery we can. There might be some left, but you're only allowed a certain amount in a lap time, so I've actually used too much early doors. So I'm going to have to suffer now down the straights. It's costing me times. The car's just creating drag obviously as we come down here, but again with the downforce we've got in this machine, we can really just launch it into these final couple of corners. Don't need to really slow down till about now. Down to 3rd gear, get it turned in on the power, and again we'll just bring it down to 2nd. Head for a line, hopefully we've got any juice. Across the line we go. Oh, there we go, it's a 5:52.3, so easily the quickest car we've taken round here so far, although the next nearest to that would be the 962C from last week. On Project Cars do 6:12 managed in that one. So first lap under 6 minutes that we've done in this series so far, and this car, 3-time Le Mans winner, back to back to back, 3-time World Endurance Champions, back to back to back, 2015, 2016, 2017. Likes of Webber, Neil Yanni, Lotterer, Brendan Hartley, Nico Hulkenberg, remember, won Le Mans in his car as well. So plenty of names have driven this phenomenal piece of equipment. Obviously Porsche are no longer doing this, but they have broke that phenomenal lap record. You'll have seen it with the Tribute before. It's a really good car, it sticks like absolute glue. There's a couple of places just due to my setup where it was just not where it wants to be, because I'm just pretty much using default setup of course, so it was wanting to just step out of line in some places where it didn't really want it to. But that is it for this video, and that is it actually as well for Porsche month, and that is the end of the Porsche month segment. Now next month we're obviously into May, and May can only mean one thing. It is the Indy 500, and of course we are going to look back over some of the classic cars that have graced the Brickyard in years gone by. We're still going to take them round the Nürburgring, or at least 3 of them anyway, and they've got 3 cars lined up for that treatment, and then the plan is to do an Indy 500 of some description around the famous Brickyard to finish off the month before the race itself. As usual, if you have enjoyed what you've seen today, hit like, comment, subscribe as well if you haven't done so already. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed in the past and is already a subscriber. Really do appreciate your support. Until next time though, thanks very much for your time, and I will see you again soon. Ta-ra.